welcome into episode 2 of Softball Talk with the Coach and the Fan. I am Dan the Fan. Alongside me is Coach JB. Coach JB, welcome back.
Thank you.
This last week has been incredible. Coach, I'll let you speak as well, but I've had so many awesome people reach out to me and positive remarks. They enjoyed the podcast. Really means a lot. Coach, same for you. We even had or Coach Troutman, Henderson County, commented, and Coach, thanks for reaching out. He mentioned, our team's finally getting noticed. Coach, you've been noticed. We're just the first place to actually talk about it, and keep doing great things. We hope to have you on the podcast at some point. Coach, same for you. You had someone from Caldwell County reach out, right?
Yeah, good friend of mine. I've known Seath for a long time. He reached out, and of course Mercy's gonna go down there and we're gonna scrimmage them early in the season this year down to Caldwell County. He's doing good things down there at Caldwell, and we're just gonna take the girls. It's always good to go see somebody different.
Absolutely.
And it's gonna be a nice little drive, but we'll go down there and spend the day and scrimmage. But he reached out and said a lot of nice things. And we've just, I can't agree more. It's been overwhelming the responses that we got on that when there's just something we thought about doing and thought, talk a little bit of softball and put some information out there and just have a good time with it. And I think a lot of people really enjoyed it, so we're going to give them some more.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it has been like you said, a great week. Just all the people reaching out. Please know, we greatly appreciated.
Absolutely.
That being said, Coach, last week I want to touch base, turn the clock back just a hair.
Mm-hmm.
We missed a few names, a few things. Going back to Mercy's final game in the state tournament against Greenwood.
Yes, sir.
We mentioned a pitcher.
Yep. Caden Murray.
Yeah.
Again, we'll say it again. She's a fantastic pitcher.
Absolutely. 19 strikeouts that game against us. I mean, it's the truth. It's the stats. But great player. And we wanted to give her kudos, who will be.
She's going to play college ball at Lindsey Wilson, I'm pretty sure. Yep.
Congrats to her. Yeah, absolutely.
And, and again, shout out we talked about that, that was a 9-inning ball game.
Right.
2 really good pitchers. Caden Murray's a very good pitcher, but, our pitcher at Mercy did a pretty daggone good job too.
She sure did.
Maya Merrill. And, hey, we're still waiting to hear.
Absolutely.
I know she's got schools contacting her. I don't know if they're keeping it hush-hush or what, but we haven't heard anything yet. So Maya, once we hear something, we'll put it out there.
Yeah, outstanding kid. Probably one of the two. I mean, heck, you're 2 seniors, but both outgoing. Extremely welcoming to younger players on the team, which is very important to have that. And now the senior leadership, they will be able to do that. But a fantastic player. Any team that gets her will be lucky to have her.
Yeah.
And Maya, nothing but the best. Major kudos to you. Fantastic season last year. Coach, your other senior, Mercy, Peyton Arnold.
Peyton Arnold.
Also just recently committed as well.
Yep. Committed to Bellarmine. Peyton works hard. She's a 3-sport athlete. She puts in the work. She gets out there and really works hard. And, she comes to hitting lessons when she can fit it in amongst the other couple sports there. And so she's in and out of there, it's a phone call away, can I get in today? Can I get in next week?
Yeah.
But when she can get in there, she gets in there and she puts in the work. And then, she's Peyton's a force on the field, man. She's a very athletic kid. And, I was I really thought there would be a whole lot of other schools that Peyton would, and maybe there was. I don't know. She
Right,
didn't talk to me about it very much, but I thought she would have a whole slew full of offers.
right.
The kid's got a cannon for an arm and hits the ball 2 miles.
Absolute power hitter. I mean, at J-Town, I think she hit the roof on a building behind the field. I mean, yeah, just power hitter.
Yeah, yeah, she's lots of power, and when we're hitting on our field, she's hitting them up on the tennis courts.
Yeah, a
Pounding them off the fence up there, and
absolutely.
that's up the hill. That's about 300 something foot shot. So, big power hitter. But hey, she committed to Bellarmine. That's where she's going to go play, close to home. The good thing is we got her for one more year.
100%. Now, with her and Maya, which we know Maya is gonna go somewhere that puts you 5 for 5 with, your upperclassmen graduating, the last 2 seasons. Coach, I mean, for you, if the girls wanna continue and move on to play softball, there's not a better feeling in the world for them to come into the program and be able to continue that to their next step.
Absolutely. And, I'm just, I don't know, hey, high school coaches out there, hey, reach out to us and talk about this. I don't know, but I reach out to colleges for my kids. I sat down with them. I talked to them about what they need to do to get recruited.
Right,
A lot of them also play for me in my travel ball team, and we do a lot of showcase tournaments. I reach out to a lot of coaches, lots of phone calls, lots of emails. Um, and I do what I can for them, and I let them know that too. Let me know what your plan is,
right.
and I will sit down with you, and we will come up with how to attack that.
Absolutely.
And so my three seniors last year, two of them, Maria McClellan and Caden Dunlap, committed to or are at Pikeville now,
Yes.
and Dakota Burke is at Transy,
Yeah,
and couldn't be happier for those three kids. And they started a little late in the game in the recruiting process,
yeah,
and we had to work really hard.
yeah.
And lots of phone calls to some coaches and getting them out to see some schools and putting them in front of them. But we pulled it off and we did it, and now they're playing college ball.
Yeah, I mean, fantastic. And just to know that if you want to continue on that that path, coming here or going to Mercy,
Yeah,
you'll have that opportunity.
yeah,
I mean, not that it's a given, but you're going to work for it. You're going to show them what they need to do and do the right things and reach out to the right people.
absolutely.
Yeah, with that September 1st date where colleges now can contact the juniors, it's important. It's something, I mean, we have to talk about it.
We have
It's
to.
very
Yeah.
important.
And if you're waiting, again, if young ball players out there, if you're waiting until your junior year to get started in this process, you're way late.
Yeah,
You're way late. Here's the thing that I tell my kids today, on my travel ball team and at my high school is, it's different than the way it was 5-6 years ago.
right.
Not only are you trying to get recruited amongst other seniors, but now you have to deal with a transfer portal. And when
Right.
these coaches can reach in there and find somebody that's seasoned, that's got a year or two under their belt at that level,
Mhm.
they're going to go get those kids. Those
Yeah.
kids have experience.
I haven't honestly, I haven't even thought about that. But yeah, I mean, that's gotta affect, and then the trickle down method of this coach takes this, and then next thing you know,
Yeah,
a coach may only need 3 or 4, now they need 9.
that's right.
I mean, and that can happen.
And that's that's why I tell my kids, listen, you have to start early. You
Mhm,
have to get to camps.
mhm.
You have to put in the work. You are outworking the people in your class,
Right.
and you're trying to outwork those people that are already there.
Yeah.
You really have to sell yourself now, and you got to put yourself up on up up there on the platform,
Yeah.
for them college coaches to see.
Absolutely, and there's nothing wrong with creating those relationships now as a freshman, as a sophomore. It's a easy couple keystrokes, send them an email. You know, a couple new college coaches just were hired. there is no congratulations, coach. Welcome. My name is so and so,
Yep,
class of whatever. That is all things that these kids can easily do to get their name out there, say hello, and then maybe put a face with a name at some point in a tournament.
that's right. And
Yeah,
then, and not even at a tournament, but hey, if that's one of your, I also tell my kids, pick you out 4 schools, 4 or 5 schools,
right.
go to their camps,
Yeah,
get in front of those coaches.
yeah,
A good story, a kid that hit with me forever, and she went to Ole Miss's softball camp from the time she was 7 years old. And, she when it got time for her to senior year to be recruited, the assistant coach, you're not only there trying to sell yourself to the head coaches, but those assistant coaches are paying attention too.
absolutely.
So that assistant coach at Ole Miss got a head coaching job, D1 job in California, and guess who his first call was?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Called her up, Macy Howes, and she went and played D1 down there in California, and that's where she's at now.
Wow. So it's the little things.
It's little things.
Going to those camps.
Yep.
All definite possibilities for all the girls out there is to attend, especially the local ones that are super easy, right up the road. No reason not to get your name out there, to get comfortable practicing in front of different people
Yep.
and different ways of doing things.
Well, and let those coaches give you feedback. So
Absolutely.
the more feedback you get from these college coaches that tell you, hey, need to work on this or you need to work on that, like my pitcher that I have on my travel ball team, she's a big strong kid,
Yeah.
throws at 66 miles an hour,
Right.
and she continues to go to camp. She's been reached out by a few. September 1, she got a few calls.
Yep.
And you know, she plays down at Marshall County. Allison Harris. Be on the lookout for her next year because the kid is good.
Absolutely.
And but she goes to every camp she can uh, with her dad to get feedback.
Absolutely.
What else? What else do I need to work on? Each coach may see something different that may help you.
Right.
You
And if
know.
it's just that one little thing at that level, that is nothing but a positive. Exactly, to get that feedback from those
Yep.
college coaches.
Yep.
Coach, one thing we did touch on last week was some coaching moves in the 6th and 7th region. It's come to our attention that there was a couple more moves. Whitfield has brought in Kevin Wallach. I've known Kevin for many years now from Fern Creek Park. I just want to tell him best of luck and great job, and hope it works out well for you at Whitfield. Coach, another one, another big game for us every year, Holy Cross.
Yeah, Holy Cross. They brought in Chris Drunkenmiller, a good friend of mine. Chris I think he coaches in the Slugger, Louisville Slugger organization.
That's travel ball, if anyone's at. So a lot of coaches also coach travel ball. Chris coaches with the Louisville Lady Sluggers.
Yep. And I'm not sure how long he's been with them, a couple years now, but Chris loves the game. He's very passionate, and to take on that program at Holy Cross, I think Chris will go in there and he'll do a good job. He loves kids. He loves to teach.
Right.
And he's passionate about it. So I think Chris will do a good job out there, and I can't wait to see you. And best of luck to you too, buddy.
Yeah, and I know a couple girls that are my daughter's class that are there, great players, and best of luck to them. Hopefully, Holy Cross was a definite, somewhat of a powerhouse in the 6th region in the years past. They've won some games, so it'll be good to see them get back to where they were.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Um, Coach, I want to move on to a topic that you and I have talked about here and there, is facilities.
Yes.
And something that has been really awesome is at Mercy Academy the last year and a half there's been some transformation
Mm-hmm.
with the softball facilities. So one being a locker room,
Yep.
which is second to, I mean, it's just awesome for the girls to have. It's very nice. And then the second was the new scoreboard that you put in.
Yep.
Um, once again, just bringing the facilities up a level.
Yep.
Um, awesome. Great job. And I know it took a lot of you, a lot of work, a lot of talking to the administration to get that done.
Well, on top of that is the playing field that they used to have at the high school there was Alabama clay, I believe. They
Okay.
used to bring it in truckloads, and the problem with that is you're rained out
Right.
as soon as the water hits, you're flooded. So I sat down with them my first year with Mark when he brought me in, and I said, listen, we change the surface?
Right.
I would like to make our infield like what they have down at U of L's field.
Right.
And so, we brought the guy in and he sat down and sold Mark on it. And, pretty much we don't need a tarp to tarp our field.
Right.
Because our field will hold a lot of water now.
Got it.
And usually what rains us out is the outfield.
Got it.
We got to get some drainage in the outfield now. So our infield holds water well, our outfield not so much.
Right.
So we're putting in the work on that now. A lot of seeding, a lot of fixing things. But I think overall, what's going to take care of that is if we just have some drainage put in and out in the outfield. So that'll take care of that.
Yeah. So, which now the facility is wonderful, and that's something that leads me into is who has some of the greatest facilities in the KHSAA. I mean, I know there's some awesome softball fields out there. Now, this isn't just going to be a Mercy podcast, and I know I'm going to deviate just for a second here that we want to talk all things softball, all things KHSAA, and we'll eventually get into travel ball, which is that is a whole nother story in and of itself. Um, but I just want people following along. Yes, we will talk Mercy things, but we also want to talk other places,
Yeah.
other high schools.
Yeah.
The first one I want to bring up, Frost, if you don't mind, is the North Laurel Jaguars.
Mm-hmm.
Head coach Chris Edwards. They put this out on Twitter just the other day. All new turf field. They've got the huge Jaguar in center field. The bullpens on the looks like it's a 2-mound bullpen on the home side and maybe a single bullpen on the visitor side.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just great to see people investing in women's sports.
Yeah. I mean, look, if you look around, pay attention. Softball is big. Softball's big here in Louisville.
Yeah.
Look, it's getting bigger, and for a long time I've been coaching in this for a while.
Yeah.
And whatever school I was at, we would travel to other schools, and it always amazed me. We'd get there, or even my last school that I was at,
Right.
I had to rent porta pots.
Yeah. I mean, that's just unacceptable.
For fans.
Yeah.
And yeah, why are we going to high school softball stadiums and to enjoy a game, and I have to stand in line at the porta pot land?
And the thing of it is, Coach, and you and I spoke about this just a hair. Why not have a single toilet just for the players even?
Something. Yeah.
You've got to have something. I mean, they are women, they are female athletes.
That's right.
We deserve a little bit better, I think.
Yes.
We're not asking for what North Laurel's doing in every state. We're just asking for running water and some plumbing. That's it. Simple ask. And
That's
I
it.
think they deserve that.
Yes.
Right? I mean, 100%. Frost, if we could pull up number 2, that's Boyle County and Coach Brian Deem. This
Dude,
was unveiled last year.
Wow.
I mean, what
a stadium. Yeah.
I mean, golly. It's awesome. They've got looks like a 2-pitcher bullpen in both the home and visiting sides. You've got the press box, great dugouts. Coach, I think we might be going there this year.
We are.
I can't wait to see it in person.
Yeah.
But Coach Deem, congratulations, man. You've got a definite awesome field. I'm sure your ladies are enjoying it. And shout out to the school district for getting something like that done for them.
Yes.
Number 3 on our list is going to be Mercer County. Coach Darren Ransdale down there. I believe he is the current coach. I did some research. Now, the main picture is the baseball diamond, so you kind of have to look to the bottom left
Yeah.
to see the circle and the women's field. But the whole facility there, how they kind of back to back
Mm-hmm.
them, we've seen that before.
Yep.
It makes it so, if there's two going on at the same time, what a awesome atmosphere. And then it just when you do, you have great facilities. So it looks like there's some type of indoor facility there, as well as a nice press box area, nice dugouts, and anymore, heck, parents bring their own chairs, so we don't
Yeah.
even need
Right.
seating. It's a different game when it comes to that. But shout out to Mercer County. Uh, Looks like a fantastic field.
Yep.
And we Mercy looks forward to at some point, maybe one day, getting down there to see it in person.
Absolutely.
Frost, thank you, sir. Um, Coach, that being said, we did talk about the porta pots and women's athletics. Um, you know, like we said, it will be nice to see when we start seeing some improvements here in Jefferson County as well,
Yes.
because I know a lot of the facilities have fallen off. I know they're pumping money into certain things.
Yep.
I didn't see a whole lot of softball on that list,
Nope.
but I hope that we can get toilets and bathrooms at least for the players at each facility.
Yes.
And we have quite a few high schools here in Jefferson County that have softball programs, if not all of them. I think most of them do at this point. Um, but it's just something to look forward to that, hey, these girls deserve it. We know that other sports maybe fundraise a little more and drive the bus for athletics. We're not asking for all turf fields for everything. We're just asking for the bathrooms. Not to hit on it again, but
Well, I mean, I know that Bullitt County out there is having a lot of big upgrades right now in all their facilities.
yeah, absolutely.
I
Yeah.
think they just did all the football stadiums.
Yes. Yes.
Now, from what they say, all the softball stadiums out there in Bullitt County are going to be done also.
Awesome.
So they're taking steps to make sure the girls are getting everything that the boys get.
Yeah.
And I think that's important. This game is getting big.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of little girls out there that would love to come and play on those big stadiums and in front of all those people and it be nice and not run down and not have to stand in line at a porta pot before the ball game and get yourself ready.
Yeah. And I think it's a real issue. I mean, coaches, fans, did we beat this dead horse a little too much with it? Is this something you're seeing at your school or out in your county? Please let us know, comment, because it is something that we ran into quite a bit. And it stinks because you go to a great place that you're looking forward to play an awesome team, and you're like, daggone it,
Yeah.
that stinks.
Yeah.
It stinks. Coach, moving on we're going to make that a weekly segment, actually, where we're going to talk about who has the best high school fields or stadiums in the state. If you guys could, please send them to us. We'll try to check everything on Twitter as much as possible. But if you send us some personal clips or Coach Edwards, Coach Neem, or Coach Ransdale, if you have updated pictures as you're doing your building or transformation, send them on. We'd love to include them in our next podcast. Coach, moving on, I did want to talk about the way people perceive Coach JB. And I can't tell you how many people came up to me after the first podcast and said, wow, Coach JB was relaxed. He was nice. He was talkative. And I said, yeah, it's just one of those things you kind of got to get to know him a little bit. And so in doing that, I was thinking, and I know I'm kind of hitting you with this, but just to take a piece of that is when you're coaching third base, batter strikes out, strike three swinging, we really don't see any emotion from Coach JB. You don't talk to the girls. You don't say anything. You normally stare at the first base coach or look down at the ground.
Yeah. And you see a lot of coaches that, they're barking at the kid all the way from the batter's box to the dugout.
Yeah.
I mean, they struck out.
Right.
They know they were trying to do their job. Okay.
Yes.
It wasn't like they intended to walk up there and strike out. Strikeouts are part of the game.
Right.
Guys that get paid millions of dollars strike out.
Correct.
Okay. So usually if I got a kid up there battling and they strike out, why am I going to just hound them all the way back to the dugout when all that's going to do is beat them down even more?
Right.
So now I need that kid to go out and hang that bat up, collect herself, and go out and play the field.
Right.
So if I'm barking at her, now that's getting on her, and now she's going to go out to the field, possibly making errors. So we'll talk about that. We video every game. We broadcast every one of our games. We video them. I'm that coach that I will go down after every game when I get home. My wife will attest to this, is I will sit there and I will rewatch every at bat.
Oh, absolutely.
And I will take notes, and then I will discuss it with them at practice.
Yeah.
Or when they come to hitting lessons.
Yeah.
And we will work on that. But there's no reason. Now, if you go up there with the bat on your shoulder and you're watching balls just zip by you and the bat never leaves your shoulder.
Yep.
Now you're going to see
we have a problem.
Now we got a problem, but you're going to see a little bit different, me, and I'm going to let you know that, hey, if you're just going to go up there and not swing the bat, just don't take one up there.
Right. Absolutely. And so my thought process is so people see that and they just assume, okay, he's so mad that he can't even speak, when in all honesty, they know what they've done.
Yeah.
It does not have to be explained to them. You don't need to harp on it, and you definitely don't want to beat them down any more than they are.
No. And I mean, there's been times where, crucial parts of the game,
right,
where, I may say something, dropped your hands, or you got to keep those hands above the ball and work through the ball. You're pulling your head out. You're never going to hit it if you keep pulling your head. Something like that, just to, because I need you at that moment. And now I'm frustrated.
Yeah.
Because I needed you to come through. We had two runners sitting here in scoring position, and you're my 3, 4, 5 hole hitter.
Yeah.
And I need you to put the barrel on the ball.
Yeah.
And you don't. And so, a little frustration, but I usually don't, they know when they just get the stare.
Right.
and that's it.
Like you tell a lot of them, hey, you got a brand new bucket in there with a nice padded seat for them too.
That's
right.
right.
Just want to keep that bat on their shoulder. Coach, something else that I've thought about a lot as a fan, and I don't know everything, and so that's why I'm asking. And this may be a crazy question for a lot of people that are watching, but I have to ask. So today's game and your teams, whether it's Kentucky Freedom or the Mercy Jaguars, or now you see it in a lot of teams, if not all of them, is coaches no longer do the, 2-arm slides, touch their leg, touch their ear, twinkle their nose to call in signs. Now the girls, a lot of them will wear that wristband or that armband, or they'll tuck it on their belt.
Mm-hmm.
And the coach will call a number sequence, so 1, 3, 5 or 2, 4, 4. And so that gives them the call of what you would like for them to do, whether it's bunt, swing away, whatever. Coach, why have we gotten away from the hand signs? Why do we go to something like that?
Well, I tell you, the reason I have, and I can't speak for other coaches out there, but the reason I have is because, the number signs, when you're calling pitches, it's the old cliche, touch the cheek. Some people did the touch the cheek, touch the forehead, whatever was the fastball or whatever, or the one's fastball, 2 change up, and you've got coaches there's pretty sharp coaches out there.
Right.
They're sitting across the field, and they've got people in that dugout who are watching you.
Or that crazy parent.
Yeah.
Which can happen.
Yes. They're watching you, and they start picking your signs off.
Got it.
So, hey, I got the wristband, the armband, My batter's got the armband. My pitcher has the armband. I can tell her what I want her to do 50 different calls.
Got it. So it's just a way for you to camouflage what's going on to make it more difficult for the other teams, which is what I thought, but I didn't know if there was more of a reason. And I assume it's, you can call a hit and run much easier than it, double arm, double
Right.
touch your
Yeah.
thigh, whatever. If you call a 1-4-4 and you know what the play is, and you get the nod, at least they understand what it is because they can double check on their wrist.
Well, the other thing too is when a lot of times when you get somebody at first base, okay, most of the time, pay attention. They're not looking at the third base coach. Sometimes the first base coach may be talking to them, may be telling them something, whatever, and some type of discussion about, hey, make sure you're getting whatever, but so you may already have a batter up there and I want to start giving signs.
Yeah.
So if I just start yelling out numbers, somebody over there is going to get it.
Got it.
First base coach is going to get it.
Got it.
And he can repeat it to them. So it's not like I have to stand over there and keep doing the signs over and over. I gave it to the batter. Now I got to turn and look at the person at first base and do it all over again. I just yell the numbers out.
Absolutely. And so that keeps everything flowing in the game. You don't have to worry about just call the numbers.
That's it.
Makes it much easier.
Yeah, and I can do it. You could set that up. It's a program. You can set that up to juggle your numbers 40 different ways, 20 different ways, 50 different ways. It doesn't matter. However you want to set it up. But it's a great program. It's easy to use. I just plug in what I want to call. Yep. It juggles everything out. I print them, laminate them, give them to the girls, and we're ready to go.
And you don't have to worry about the girls forgetting something or forgetting 2 ear pulls as a steal.
Or what's the indicator?
Yeah. What's the indicator?
Because most of the time, if you do those old school signs like that, you're going to change the indicator.
Right. Yeah.
So
absolutely.
You're trying to change that from game to game. And, you got girls that are going to forget that. And then they're going to miss the sign. And then you're standing at third base yelling, And
then everybody's riled up,
That's
which
right.
we don't want to have. Coach, we'll just touch on this a little bit. Is travel ball? You run the Kentucky Freedom.
Yep.
And have for how many years now?
I think this is my 10th year with the Freedom.
Wow. So it started as KC Freedom.
So originally it was the KC Freedom, and at that time, I was with the Louisville Lady Sluggers.
Yes.
And so the KC Freedom reached out to me here in Kentucky and asked me if I would be interested in bringing that name here. And at the time, I was with the Louisville Lady Sluggers. And let's just say things didn't work out very well with that.
Got it.
And so that's for another whole conversation. And
it's getting juicy.
Yeah. So anyway, so I called them back up.
Okay.
And I said, hey, let's talk some more.
Okay.
So they flew in here and met with me, and we sat down and talked about everything. And they told me that basically what was going to happen is they were trying to set the table for me to take it over. Wow. And that their kids were all aging out and they were going to be stepping away from the game.
Got it.
And so for the first 2 years, we were the KC Freedom.
Got it.
And then when they shut their teams down, everything got turned over to me. So then I had to start the whole process over again with reorganizing the organization.
Okay.
To change the name to KY Freedom.
Got it.
So a lot of money out of my own pocket. A lot of people don't understand that. If you run an organization out there and you are a 501c3 and all that, you understand how much money it takes to set that up.
Correct.
The thing about my organization is nobody in my organization makes a dime.
Right.
It's a nonprofit organization. Nobody makes a dime. I don't get paid. Our team fees are very minimal.
Right.
for a team to be in my organization. I think some teams, I'm not sure what they pay in other organizations, 2,800, 2,000, whatever it
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
So for a team to be in my organization, to get the 501c3, to use Mercy's practice field,
Yes.
and hopefully future coming indoor facility.
Yes.
Yeah. So, I charge my teams $400.
Yeah. And
$400.
everything's all set up for you. You
It's
take them to the bank, you get them a bank account. They handle you handle all the hard part is done.
That's right.
And then you just come.
You just
And
come. The
it's
only
simple.
thing you have to do is wear our uniform, our helmet,
Yeah.
our bag.
Now you do have to pass the JB test. He knows you're going to put a team worthwhile on the field.
Yes.
That is extremely important. But travel ball has become something that's absolutely crazy.
Oh,
And
it's nuts.
as a parent, sometimes I just don't really know. There's so many different elements and dynamics and trips to Colorado and California and Florida, and which way are you going to stay local? Are you going to go national? And at the end of the day, there's only a handful of kids that are going to go D1 anyway. So
Yeah.
what are we doing?
Well, like I said earlier, think about it. You're coming out of high school. You have to battle the portal.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, there's kids jumping in that. I forgot the number of athletes that jumped in it last year. I think I saw something like 700 athletes jumped in the portal
For softball.
I think
for
so.
softball. Wow.
I don't know that. Don't
Right,
quote me on that,
right.
but it was a lot.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of kids out there that didn't get picked up
Wow.
that
Yeah.
that went in the portal. So you're a senior coming out of high school and you're competing against that too.
Yeah.
So it's the travel ball thing is, I think the craziest thing to me is when my kids were 9.
Yeah.
And I had my little my Fern Creek fire team that I talked about.
Right.
Man, we didn't travel nowhere.
Yeah, if you went to New Albany, or I guess Evansville would probably be the trip.
I think the furthest place we went when they were yet that young is they always had a big tournament down at Versailles.
Yeah.
And we went down to Versailles and played down there. But you got 9-year-olds that are weekly staying in hotels.
It's insane.
I would have never.
Yeah.
And
for what? I mean, I get the competition factor to a degree, but I mean, what are you doing?
but at a competition level, people that say that to me,
Yeah.
it blows my mind,
Okay.
because at that age,
Yeah.
it's about development.
Right.
It's about teaching them the game.
Yeah.
And don't tell me that well, my 9U team is way too good for teams around here.
Got it.
Are
Okay.
you kidding me?
Yeah.
Come on. And so, yeah, like it blows my mind that there's actually spending thousands of dollars, number one, to be on a team.
Yes.
And
Absolutely.
then thousands of dollars traveling in the summer and the fall.
Yeah. I never have grasped that. As a parent, I don't fully understand it. I mean, I get, like, we're based out of Louisville, so Lexington, Evansville, E-Town, maybe Bowling Green, that's okay. But when we're talking Texas,
Yeah.
South Florida, I mean,
Yeah.
what are we at 9?
Yeah.
What are we thinking?
Yeah.
I mean, let the kids develop socially, first of all. I mean,
Well,
living in a hotel, there's nothing positive about it.
no, and the other thing I'd like to say about that too is they're playing way too many weekends.
Yeah.
You're going to take these 9-year-old kids, and I've seen it. I've seen it over and over again.
Yes.
You're playing every weekend.
Yeah.
And by the time these kids are 13, 14, 15 years old, boy, they ain't going to, because they've missed everything
Yes,
that they've wanted to do with their friends.
exactly. They've missed every lake weekend,
Uh,
birthday party,
Absolutely.
whatever. And I mean, even as a parent with me, I've done that to my daughter and I hate it. Now looking back saying, man, I missed a 10U, she missed a 10U tournament not to create these great memories with grandma going to the lake, or
Right.
whatever. That's just an example. But yeah, when you look back, like we talk about a lot, and I know you preach to your team, 3 practices for every game.
For every game, you should have 3 practices. For
Yeah.
every game you're going to play.
So why are we rushing out and playing a 7 game guarantee back to back weekends? It's just insane.
And you may have gotten 1 practice in.
Yeah. And then a 10U team at a showcase. I mean, what is going on? Things are nuts,
What are you showcasing?
Right, exactly. I mean, teach them how to slide,
Right.
teach them how to dive.
Yep. I agree.
What do we talk
So,
about? Angles, know the angles. There's lots of different things that could be taught instead of sitting in the car for 4.5
well,
hours driving to Paducah.
and that's a funny thing is you said angles, not learn angles. That's the other thing is I get, you know, other high school coaches out there,
Yeah, reach out, let
reach
us
out,
know.
let
Yeah,
us know
give us
what you're seeing,
what are you
because
seeing?
I tell
Yes.
you, when I get kids that, I start talking about proper angles to balls and rounding balls and working to balls, and they look at me and they say, I've never heard that before in my life.
And at that in that grade, 14, 15, 16-year olds, you're hoping that they've been taught how to attack an angle of a ball hitting.
Well,
Yeah.
think about this, and I look at them and I go, "You've never heard that?" So you play shortstop and there's a ball hit 80 plus miles an hour up the middle.
Yeah.
Do you think a direct angle to that ball, you're going to make it?
Yeah.
Do you think you need to get your hips open and drop step a little bit and
Yeah.
get around that ball?
Y-
And they look at me and they go, nobody's ever told me it that way. And I'm like, wow. So what are we teaching?
Right.
Are we teaching or are we just playing games?
Right. And I'm coach, we're gonna there is so many more facets of the travel ball game that we want to get into. Next week, I really want to talk about picking the coach, not the program,
Yeah.
because that is extremely important. That is something people do way too much is they pick the name on the front of the jersey, not who's sitting in the dugout, which can definitely hurt your child. And I think you really need to think about that before you commit to something.
Well, again, yeah, just let your kid go to a few practices before you start writing checks.
Yeah, see what happens. And we're going to dive much deeper into that. Coach, episode 2, we hit a lot of topics.
Yeah.
Absolute blast. Before we get out of here, I do want to mention that right now for 8th graders in the private school system, the Catholic school system, this time of year is shadow dates. Shadow every single one that you can. If you live in a big city with a bunch of them, shadow every single one. They'll get you a free lunch and a free t-shirt. If you come to Mercy, you're guaranteed to see Coach JB because he works there. And that's something to, I think, very important to think about is who on the softball staff is there every day? Because the Mercy girls see you, right?
Yeah, they see
And,
me every day.
and I think that's important. And that's a great thing is, hey, there's Coach JB.
Yep.
Now, some of them may still be a little afraid of you, but they're starting to open up. They're
Yeah.
seeing you on this podcast, right?
That's right.
But Coach, episode 2, anything else?
No, hey, just keep sending in those comments. We love it.
Yeah.
And listen, all of this is our opinions. We're not spitting, setting up here telling you that this is the way things are.
Yeah.
We're just from our views.
Absolutely.
Again, we're open for discussion. Reach out to us.
Yeah, absolutely. And I had a great discussion, not to keep going, but Nate Bryan, I had a great discussion with him. He DM'd me about the backlash bat. We kind of agreed to disagree. But you know what? We had a great conversation about it and understand different people's points of view. That's the way it is. And these are ours. Definitely not Mercy Academies, but me and JB's. And if you have any questions, make sure to like and subscribe. Um, I am at Dan the Fan KY on Twitter. He's at Mercy_softball. Check us out on Instagram. We have an Instagram page now. We are growing.
Yep.
Softball Talk Podcast, as well as we are now on Spotify. So make sure you listen to us on there when you're in your car. Coach, episode 2, it's been awesome.
Yep.
We'll see you all next week. Thank you so much.
Yep. Thank you.